One of the things very important to consider is water quality. And depending on where your water is, are you using city water? Are you using dam water? What's the water quality? What's the hardness of the water? How much calcium and magnesium is in there? What's the bacterial contamination? And what's the potential for deposits with biofilms? So it's important that after each grow out, the water system gets cleaned out with some sort of citric acid or some other material that will clean out the biofilm. It's also important that we test the water, and if we're using well water, it should be tested 2 times in a year, once during the drier part of the season, and that would be mainly looking for mineral contamination. So if you're going to look for hardness and minerals, the time to do that is when you expect the highest mineral, and that would be during the dry season. And if you're looking for bacteria, you should probably do that during the more wet season when there's a chance of water getting into the well. I've been on a farm where, for the service people, the first thing you need to do is go in and click the water nipples and make sure the birds have water. Because if you have a situation where there's particulate matter in the water, that can clog the nipples. At one point I was on a farm in Indonesia and they had water from a dam. It was good water, but it had particulate matter in there, and water was present at the nipple, but not in enough flow so the birds could get an adequate amount of water. You know, that's a very simple thing, but very important to consider. Well, ideally, you'd want a very pure and clean water source that had no contamination and no mineral deposits, but that may not always be the case. And so if you can keep the water with a slightly lower pH, it'll keep those dissolved solids in solution. So that's very important, and that's where acidification would come in. And then decontamination would be a way to reduce the bacterial load. So products that would acidify the water and have some sort of disinfectant in there would be very optimal.